and I thought I would pop on today to explain a little bit more about my 31 days of healing tips in July. We're halfway through now, and I thought they would be quite a nice, light-hearted way of introducing my healing approach, which is the first step is creating space for our healing by simplifying life and resting our nervous system so we give it an opportunity to actually recover and heal. And part of that is also keeping strong in terms of looking at ways we can keep healthy with eating and exercise and squeezing that into sometimes very complex situations. So that is the sort of lighter part of my healing approach. And I use the analogy of an onion. So, and I think a lot of, I'm not a therapist, but I do use counselling skills. I'm actually a trauma-informed registered dietitian and family healing coach. And a lot of therapists use the analogy of an onion in terms of trauma healing, where there's lots of layers of traumatic experiences, and it's about unfolding those, peeling back the layers to find ourselves again, find our peace, find our well-being under all those layers of trauma. And I also add an extra layer, and that is a layer of locks, where my approach looks at what impedes our healing, and so that we can actually get to those layers underneath. So I use a knowledge of the nervous system, a bit of the neuroscience, although I keep it very, very simple, and an understanding of the different anxious nervous states. So the fight, flight, fawn and freeze states, and then also the dorsal vagal state, which is sort of complete shutdown. And use the knowledge of the nervous system to understand what's going on for us and for others, so we can better support ourselves and others with a trauma-informed approach. So my approach is very much based on the importance of a trauma-informed approach, and then unlocking the barriers so we can actually get to the deeper healing and address those layers of the onion. And in my personal experience, I use my professional experience of running many family groups for many years, working for the NHS and the NCT, the National Childbirth Trust, in NHS places and also children's centres. And I also, more importantly, use my personal experience of addressing many layers of trauma. And that's not that people need to address all those layers, but for me, there was so much, I couldn't just unpeel one layer. I had to unpeel everything to fully feel healthier, and more joy, and less exhausted, and more peace. And so there was birth trauma, childhood trauma, the trauma of fertility problems, the trauma of complex loss by suicide and other family loss. And there was also the trauma of systems and the impact of things like the education system and the mental health service when you're thrown into this very difficult situation. So if any of this resonates, I wanted to let you know that I am going to be running a 10-week healing program, group program, for those of you who feel ready and who want to go a bit deeper with their healing. And I do have, some of you may have seen my posts about my book. It's very much based on my story and how I found this approach. So that is available. It's called I See You, a mother's story of family healing after loss by suicide, and that was self-published on Amazon, so it's available there. But if you do want more information, if you want to be added to the wait list for the 10-week program, then please send me a message, or there's a contact form on my website, and the link is in my profile, in my bio, and it's easy to remember. It's wholefamilyhealing.co.uk. So yes, that's just a little summary of where I'm at and what I hope to offer with my service. And take care, and bye for now.